It's on the 1-yard line. 3rd down and goal to go. Penalty flags are down. The Giants have put it in the end zone. Let's wait for the officials and the penalty.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time any day to check out this video, and welcome to the Gridiron. And before we get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone out there who's been watching my videos. Thank you. If you can give this video maybe a thumbs up or leave a comment below or possibly even share this video, it would mean so much to me. But at least anyway, thank you so much for just taking time out of your day to check out this video. Thank you. I'll tell you what, I was watching the Monday night game and I was just like, my jaw was just like, I just couldn't believe it. I mean, good, you like a weather game. It's nice to have a nice weather game every night. Maybe it's got some defense in there, you got the weather, a little bit of snowflakes falling. Of course, it's on artificial turf, so you don't have any mud or dirt or anything like that. But, guess you can't have everything. But it's nice to have a nice, weather game, with the wind affecting things. But I'm just kind of comparing, like, after the game was over, like what the Patriots did there, and like what the Giants are doing. I mean, the Patriots won 14-10. That was a really good game. I tell you what, Bill Belichick does not win Coach of the Year. It's an absolute joke. I mean, I don't like the Patriots. I'm sick and tired of them winning, all that stuff. But what he's done with a rookie quarterback is just freaking phenomenal. He has to win Coach of the Year. If he doesn't, it's a total joke. Total joke. Anyway, I mean, they won 14-10. They ran the ball 46 times for 222 yards. Mac Daddy Jones threw the ball 3 times all game for a grand total of 19 yards. Now, I think they got the ball, I think it was the second to last time, because the last time they got the ball in the game, they basically, the game was over, they just ran the clock out. So the time before that they got it, there was like 7 minutes to go in the game, something like that. And Mac Daddy Jones had thrown 1 pass. So, what is that? Like 53 minutes into the football game, they threw 1 pass. Then that last, their second to last drive, the Patriots had the ball. The first play, they tried to run it. Shocking. They lost the yards. Now it's 2nd and 11. So then he went back. He threw a pass. I was like, oh my God. Whoa, what's this? A pass? It was incomplete, so now it's 3rd and 11. So I think it was kind of like a screen pass, I think, on 3rd down. It got him like 7 yards. Didn't get him a first down, but, they completed it, got a few more yards, and they kept the clock running. I think they punted the ball into the end zone after that, to have the Bills start at the 20. But it was just absolutely amazing. Now, with the 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts, I mean, the wind. I mean, I heard some people reading stories and stuff like they've never seen wind that bad. Like Mac Jones was saying, I don't think I've ever seen wind that bad. Now makes things. You have to sometimes you have to adapt. I mean, it's just not always going to be roses and sunshine. You have to realize what you got going into the game. Now, the Patriots, I'm sure weren't planning, like a week or so, after the, last weekend, okay, when we play Buffalo Monday night, we're just going to run the ball every play. No, they're mixing passes and and runs and everything. But when it came up to with the game, with the wind and all, it's like, they pretty much abandoned the pass and they had to run the ball, which made it very difficult for like Josh Allen, because he was in there trying to throw the ball. He completed 15 out of 30 passes for a grand total of 131 yards. I mean, the wind was really, really bad. I think it was the last drive they had. I think Stephon Diggs was open, and I think Josh threw the ball and wound up going behind. Diggs was open, but it was close to the end zone. I don't know if he was in the end zone or not, but he threw the ball and the ball just sailed on him, and he wound up going behind Diggs, and it's When it's a game like that, you got to be able to adapt. You got to be able to run the ball. It's kind of like with the Giants, like a little history for you. 1962 championship game they had in Yankee Stadium. They played the Green Bay Packers. The wind gusts were like 35, 40 miles an hour. It was horrible. It was freezing. It was like 17 degrees, I think it was. One of the cameramen got frostbite. It was cold. It was frigid. It was horrible conditions. But the problem was that the Giants like to throw the ball, and Wyatt Tittle, I think he was 17 out of 41. The Packers could run the ball, so they ran the ball. They ran the ball over 40 times in that game. They threw the ball like about 20. The Packers were able to do that. The Packers could run the ball. Packers wound up winning 16-7. The Giants were desperately trying to throw the ball the whole game, and you can't really throw the ball 35, 40 mile an hour winds. Packers won. Same thing with the Patriots. The Patriots were able to run the ball, and that really, really helped, and it won. But it was just kind of like thinking. I'm thinking it's like they scored 14 points, passing 3 times, and the Giants scored 9 points. I'm like, what the hell are we doing wrong? I mean, you could say, yeah, we had a backup quarterback in there. All right, you got a good point there. But if you look at it too, I mean, you really can't Mac Daddy Jones. You really can't even include him in the game. All he did was I could do this. If Bill Belichick said, Jeff, take the snap, turn around and hand the ball off to this running back, I could do that. Anybody could do that. And you know what? It happened to wind up being that Mac Daddy Jones wound up having the worst grade on offense for the Patriots. He was a 49.1 by PFF. All right, he was graded out the worst. Mike Glenn for the Giants was graded out at the second worst. So basically, I mean, you could say we had a backup quarterback in there. And we got 9. That's why we got 9 points. But their quarterback really didn't do anything. He just handed the ball off the whole game, and they got 14 points. So it's kind of like, man, what the heck are we doing? Last 3 games, the Giants have scored 10 points, 13 points, and 9 points. I mean, we've scored a grand total of 32 points in the last 3 games. The Patriots all year, they scored 16 points, 25. They scored 13. They scored 17. This is with the rookie quarterback. All right. They scored 25 points. They scored 29 points. They scored 54 points. They scored 27 points. They scored 24 points in the game. Then they scored 45 points in the game. They scored 25. They scored 36, and they scored 14. I mean, they're putting up some points, unlike the Giants. So I'm like, it's like, what are they doing? What do they got? Why can't it's like, why can they do it and we can't? It's last night they ran the ball 46 times, but 61% of the time they actually had 6 offensive linemen on the line of scrimmage. Basically, they were just walking up to the line of scrimmage and saying, Buffalo, hey, we're going to run the ball, all right? They go back to the hall, they come up to the next play, Buffalo, hey, we're going to run the ball. I couldn't say Buffalo couldn't stop them. Buffalo stopped them on some. The Patriots only scored. They scored 3 times. They kicked 2 field goals, and they scored. What was it, like 5 minutes ago in the first quarter? I think it was. I think they 64-yard touchdown run, and then they ran the 2-point conversion in to make it 8-0. So basically, a lot of times, like when you run the ball to wear the defense down, and then like in the second half, third quarter, fourth quarter, that's when the defense starts getting tired. That's when you start getting these bigger chunk plays. Well, last night was a little bit opposite, because last night, with 5 minutes to go, that's when they ran that long touchdown run in there. But but they just kept running the ball. They kept running the ball. They kept running the ball. And I could say Buffalo couldn't stop them, but they had 46 rushes for over 200 yards. They threw the ball 3 times, and they wound up winning the football game. Obviously, yes, you got to have a good defense to stop the other team, But it's like, man, they must have some good players on that team. Man, They got to be cheating. I mean, they got to have like like first and second rounders throughout the whole offense. I mean, you let me know. I'm going to rattle off the two teams. You let me know which team you would rather have, which offensive team. Now I'm going to rattle off the offensive linemen and the tight ends, all right, and the running backs for both teams, for the Giants and for the Patriots. Basically, pretty much the teams that were put on the field. And you let me know which team you'd rather have. Okay, one team had a second-round pick, a third-round pick, a seventh-round pick, an undrafted free agent, one first-rounder. One. Keep that in mind. One first-rounder. They also had a sixth-rounder, a fourth-rounder, a sixth-rounder, a fourth-rounder, a third-rounder, and an undrafted free agent. So they had one first-rounder. All right. One in the second, two in the third, two in the fourth, two in the sixth, one in the seventh, and two undrafted free agents. All right. Would you rather have that team, or would you rather have this other team? The other team, their offensive line, their two tight ends, and their running backs. All right. The other team had a first rounder, a fourth rounder, an undrafted free agent. First rounder, a second rounder, a first rounder, a first rounder, a second rounder, a first rounder, and a fourth rounder. Which team would you rather have? Would you rather have the first team, or would you rather have the second team? Would you rather have the team that had 5 first rounders, 2 second rounders, or would you rather have the team that had 1 first rounder and 1 second rounder? Which team would you rather have? I'd rather have the team that has 5 first rounders and 2 second rounders. But unfortunately, the team with 5 first rounders and 2 second rounders is the Giants. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. The Giants got Andrew Thomas first rounder, Nate Solder first rounder, Billy Price first rounder, Evan Ingram first rounder, Saquon Barkley first rounder. Kyle Rudolph's a second rounder, Will Hernandez is a second rounder. And if Will Hernandez was picked 2 picks earlier, he'd have been a first rounder. So the Giants got 5 first rounders and 2 second rounders. 7 are in the first 2 rounds. The New England Patriots have a first rounder and a second rounder. They got 2 in the third, 2 in the fourth, 2 in the sixth, 1 seventh, and 2 undrafted free agents. And they're able to run the ball 46 times for 222 yards. And all we can do with 5 first rounders and 2 second rounders is get 9 points. I'm like, why? You got to be kidding me. See, it goes to show you, it's not like, the Giants stink because they need more talent, or they need better players, or they need better offensive linemen, or, I'm kind of like just shaking my head. Here we go, right? The 6 guys that were in the game last night, the 6 offensive linemen that the Patriots had in the game last night was Michael Onwenu. I hope I said that right. Onwenu. Shaq Mason, Trent Brown, Dave Andrews, Isaiah Wynn, and Ted Karras. Those are the 6 guys that they had, because 61% of the time they had 6 offensive linemen in there because they were just running the ball. All right. Michael Onwenu is a 6th rounder. Shaq Mason is a 4th rounder. Trent Brown is a 7th rounder. Dave Andrews is an undrafted free agent. Ted Karras is a 6th rounder. And Isaiah Wynn is their only first round pick out of these 6 guys on the offensive line. The Giants, on the other hand, because the Patriots have 1 first rounder on their offensive line. They got a 4th rounder. They got 2 6ths. They got a 7th and a drafted free agent. The Giants, right, I'm going to go over a bunch of their offensive linemen. They got Andrew Thomas, who's a first rounder. Nate Solder's a first rounder. Billy Price is a first rounder. They got Will Hernandez as a second rounder. Then Matt Parrish, a 3rd rounder. Okay. Then we got Ben Bredesen and Wes Martin, the 4th rounders, and Matt Skura is an undrafted free agent. So we got 3 guys on the offensive line who started on the offensive line. And if you throw Will Hernandez in there, we had 4 out of our 5 guys are drafted in the 1st and 2nd round. And we scored 9 points. Their whole team, except for Isaiah Wynn, their whole team was drafted, their offensive line was drafted in the 4th round or later. You realize that by Pro Football Focus, the New England Patriots, their running game, with these offensive linemen that they have, they're number 1 by Pro Football Focus, okay? They're graded out at a 90.7 with these offensive linemen. And then you can go one step further. I mean, if you want to go and look, I mean, they got Damian Harris as their running back, Brandon Bolden, Ramondre Stevenson. I mean, who? I mean, Stevenson's a 4th rounder. Bolden's an undrafted free agent from Florida International. Damian Harris is a 3rd rounder out of Alabama. But I mean, we got Saquon Barkley. He's a 1st rounder. Right? I mean, Devontae Booker, yeah, I'll take him any day. He's a 4th rounder out of Utah, but I'll take him. But I mean, it's like the running backs. I mean, they got a 4th round running back, a 3rd round running back, an undrafted free agent running back. They gained 222 yards. We got a 1st rounder and a 4th. We got the 2nd pick in the frickin' draft. And we can't even run the frickin' ball. We can't score any points. Every time we dump the ball off to him, he got caught 6 passes for 19 yards. We can't score any points. Holy cow. You realize the Giants, by Pro Football Focus, we're the number 31 team in Pro Football Focus in the NFL. We graded out at 59.9. All right. On our offensive line, we got 3 guys, 3 1st rounders, a 2nd, and a 3rd rounder. We got 5 guys in the first 3 rounds. They got 1 guy. They got a 1st rounder. That's all they got. They got a guy in the 4th. They got 2 in the 6th. They got a guy in the 7th, and they got an undrafted free agent. They got 1 guy on their offensive line drafted in the first 3 rounds. We got 5. And we can't run the ball. We can't pass the ball. We can't run block. We can't pass block. We can't score a point. I mean, we can't score a touchdown. I mean, do you realize that if you take their 6 guys, all right, I'm going to go over their grades, okay, by Pro Football Focus so far as of today, after the game against Buffalo, all right? Michael Onwenu, I hope I'm saying that right, is an 88.1. Shaq Mason's an 86. Trent Brown is an 83.6. Dave Andrews is a 76.4. The undrafted free agent is a 76.4. Their undrafted free agent has a higher blocking grade, than anybody on our team. An undrafted free agent. Isaiah Wynn, he's a 75.5. And then Ted Karras, he's the worst one. He's a 72.1. Do you realize that Ted Karras, at 72.1, is the only one? We have 1 player. Ted Karras is their worst one at a 72.1. We have 1 player who's above him. Andrew Thomas is a 74.7. Our first round pick, our number 4 pick overall in the whole draft, in the 2020 draft, is only better than one of their offensive linemen. The other 5 that played last night, they're all better grading out wise than Andrew Thomas. The rest of the guys I got raffle off, they're all far worse. Nate Solder's a 57.5. Ben Bredesen's a 49.6. Wes Martin's a 29.6. Matt Skura's 51.6. Will Hernandez a 52.5. Billy Price a 56.3, and Matt Parrott's a 63.9. I wouldn't get too excited about Matt Parrott. I mean, because if they don't have him in there in place of Nate Solder, I mean, don't get too excited about the 63.9 by Matt Parrott. But I mean, could you understand that? I mean, the guys they got drafted, they got guys drafted in the 4th, 5th, 6th, undrafted free agents who are outperforming us. And we got guys in the 1st round, 2nd round, 3rd round. And we can't run the ball, we can't pass block, we can't pass, we can't score points, we can't score a touchdown. Absolutely nothing. They got all these guys drafted in the late rounds, all right? and they got a rookie quarterback, and they're just scoring all kinds of points. Could you imagine what Bill Belichick would do with the talent that we have? I mean, when people talking about that the Giants stink, they just don't have the talent. No, we got the talent. We're just not putting it to good use. I mean, could you imagine what Bill Belichick could do with the talent that we have? And then you start looking at the wide receivers. I mean, my goodness, they got Bourne, they got Myers, Aguilar. He wasn't very good with the Eagles, all right, but he's doing okay with the Patriots. But Henry, Smith, Harry, I mean, who are these guys? And they're scoring all these points with a rookie quarterback. I mean, we got Kadarius Toney, we got Kenny Golladay, Slayton, but we got Shepard, we got Evan Ingram, Kyle Rudolph, we got Saquon out of the backfield. We can't score any points. I mean, could you imagine what Bill Belichick could do with the talent that we have? Could you imagine the points he would score with him and the coaching staff and all? I mean, more like things that happened on Monday night. You see what the Patriots do, what they're able to do with so little talent. And then you look at the talent the Giants have, and you start thinking, it's like, is it the guys or is it the coaches? And the more and more I start hearing about, with Joe Judge talking about after we lose another football game, I see a lot of positives. Nah, Joe, I don't see a lot of positives. I see a lot of BS. That's what I say. I mean, change has got to be made. The guys that we have, we should be getting so much more out of. And Joe Judge and his coaching staff are just not doing it. And I think it's time just to clear house and start anew next year. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo!